How to create study plans. Whether you're a university student or simply learning something new on your own, study time is crucial if you want to do well in your classes. With a study plan, the time you need simply becomes a part of your day, so you don't have to worry about an exam or deadline sneaking up on you. The process can seem daunting if you haven't made your own study plan before, but never fear. We've compiled all the most useful tips for you to get the most out of your study time. We'll start with advice on how to work studying into your schedule, then give you some bonus tips on how to structure each study session to max out your productivity. 1. Carve out time to study every day. Set aside at least a couple of hours as dedicated study time. If you have a full day of classes and work, you might not have more than an hour or two each day to study. Use the weekend to catch up. If your schedule doesn't leave open a full 2-hour block on any particular day, look for spots where you can sneak in smaller 20-30-minute blocks. 2. Schedule backward from exams and deadlines. Put your exams and deadlines on your calendar when you get your syllabus. If you're taking several classes, you can easily see if you have several exams on the same day or projects due at the same time. Then, plan your study time backward from those dates to make sure you have enough time to get everything ready. 3. Include enough study time each week for each class. The general rule is to study for 3 hours for every credit hour of the class. Use this rule to create your study plan before classes start. As you get into your classes, you might find that some of them require more study time while others require less. 4. Study at around the same time every day. Your brain will be more focused if you commit to a regular schedule. After a week or two, you'll get in the habit of studying at that time, the same as you get used to having classes at a certain time. If you're going to school full-time, think of your school day as a work day and schedule study time in between classes to get the most out of your day. 5. Use your syllabus to plan each study session. Set specific tasks to do each study session using action words. Think of your syllabus as a roadmap to guide your study sessions until the end of the course. Note when lectures are and what you're supposed to do to prepare. Then add in time to review your lecture notes before you prepare for the next class session. 6. Break up larger assignments. Do smaller parts of larger assignments over a longer period. Working backward from the due date, plan out blocks when you'll work on specific segments of a larger assignment. Use the week of the due date to bring those parts together and do the final polishing of your assignment so it's ready to turn in. 7. Study the most difficult things first. Do more challenging things when your mind is fresh. When you sit down to study a subject, start with whatever part is giving you the most trouble. Dedicate as much of your time to that thing as you feel like you need to before moving on. If you manage to conquer something that was giving you trouble before, you'll feel more motivated to tackle easier parts of the material. While you don't want to completely neglect material you feel confident about, a quick review is usually all you'll need to keep it fresh if you feel like you already know it well. 8. Plan for regular breaks to maintain focus. Study for 25 minutes then take a 5-minute break. This tactic is known as the Pomodoro technique and helps you maintain peak focus. When you take your break, though, remember to actually take a real break for the entire 5 minutes. Get up and walk around, do jumping jacks, get a snack, text friends, or watch cat videos on YouTube. Whatever you need to give your brain a rest. 9. Review as soon after class as possible. Go over what you covered in class as soon as possible to cement it in your brain. Look over your lecture notes, then try writing a brief summary of what you talked about in class. Think about what you would say if someone asked you what you talked about in class today. Usually, about 15 minutes is sufficient for a review. 10. Include extra study session before exam. Look for blank spaces in your regular schedule that can be used for exam study. In addition to your regular study time, you might want to study more in the week or so before an exam. Instead of taking away from study time for other classes, add more study blocks that you can dedicate to exam preparation. 11. Evaluate your plan regularly and tweak it if necessary. Increase or decrease study time based on your grades and class performance. If you start to feel like you're really struggling in one class, figure out where you can make more time to study for that class. You might also want to try different study methods if what you're doing isn't working, such as joining a study group or going to the professor's office hours. 12. Use group study session to prepare for exams. Work with classmates as it gets closer to exam time. If you're weak in one area, chances are there's someone else in the class who's strong in that same area and can help you understand it. If you've got something down, teaching it to someone who doesn't helps you understand it even better. In classes where problem solving and thinking are important, Working in groups is an asset because you can learn different ways of thinking and approaching problems that you might not have thought of on your own. 13. Set up dedicated study area. Choose a well-lit, comfortable spot where you can focus and concentrate. It's usually better if you always study in the same place and have all of your materials handy so you don't waste any of your precious study time hunting for something. If your study area is outside your own home, you might want to pack up a separate backpack with all of your study tools so you know you'll always have them with you. 14. Think about your own needs. Everyone's ideal study environment will be different. If you need absolute quiet with no distractions, you might find it best to study in a carrel in the library. But if you need a certain level of ambient noise and movement in the background, a cafe might be a better choice. Since this pandemic, stay home for safe and follow 3 do and 3 don't. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. You will not miss any video. Thank you. See you next time.